Howdy. So in today's video, I'm going to be answering the questions I get asked most often as a falconer. And yes, I am using the Stick i30 Pro. This is an outdoor channel. We use it outdoor technology. Okay. And you might also be asking yourself, hey Caebin, what's that thing on Gracie's head? Well, I'm about to tell you. What she's wearing right now is called a hood, and it's pretty much just to cover her eyes and make her more calm than she usually is, because hawks are very visually stimulated. So pretty much that means when the lights are on, a big part of their brain is turned on, and when the lights are off, a large part of their brain is shut down. So when she's wearing this, she's much calmer, and she's not always wearing this. It's just for right now, so that she's not jumping around all over the place when I'm trying to shoot a video. So without further ado, first question. When is hunting season? In Washington State, the small game hunting season is from September 1st to March 15th. In other states, however, it does vary. In some states, rabbits are actually considered vermin because the population is just so overgrown that they don't mind if you keep bagging rabbits year round. So, yeah. Are there any restrictions on birds you can have? Yes. As an apprentice falconer, which is what I am right now, I can only possess two birds, a red-tailed hawk, which is what she is, and an American kestrel. But you can only choose one or the other, so you can't have both birds at the same time. So an apprentice can choose either bird, but they can't have two at the same time. As a general licensed falconer, you can possess almost any falconry bird except for the peregrine falcon and eagles. These are master level birds, except for the bald eagle. You can't possess that because it's protected. Do you eat anything Gracie catches? Not right now. I've just never had the time to process the rabbit, get it ready for human consumption. I have had domestic rabbit though, so Gracie eats everything she catches. How often do you catch things? Well, last season we caught around, I think it was like 10 or 12 rabbits last season with Gracie, and that's not bad. Not bad if you ask me. At least for myself, that's pretty good. Yeah. What do you catch? Well, so far we've only gone after rabbits, but Gracie has managed to catch a rat one time, which I actually got on camera. Go check that out after this video if you haven't already seen it, because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. How often do you feed Gracie? Once a day. I try to aim for the afternoon around 3 o'clock. In the hunting season, I will do some sort of training with her, such as jump ups or flights, which I've done videos on. But in the molt, I just give her the food because the less work she has to do and the higher her weight, the better her feathers are going to be. Do you want to get another bird? Yes, eventually, but not right now. Gracie is an excellent bird. She's an excellent hunter. So I think I'm gonna go another season or a couple seasons with her. But eventually, yes, I do want to get another smaller, faster bird because I think those are super cool. How did you get her? How did you get a bird? So there's 4 main ways of acquiring a bird. First is trapping, which is a humane way of capturing juvenile, or also called passage birds, from the wild. And we have to take juvenile birds because it would be unethical if we were to take an adult breeding age bird from the wild and risk taking it from its nest or from a meet. The second way you can get a bird is by buying the bird from a raptor breeder, which is pretty simple, straightforward. The third way of getting a bird is by gifting or exchanging birds with another falconer. And then the fourth way you can get a bird is a general or a master falconer can take a chick or an eyas out of a nest, and this method of acquiring a bird is called imprinting, because the bird or the chick is now imprinted on humans. And with this method of acquiring a bird, you cannot later return that bird to the wild. Because it was taken from the nest at an early age and raised with humans, it doesn't have that healthy fear of humans that most birds have. So it would get itself into a bit of trouble if it were returned to the wild. How did you get into falconry? A while ago, when I was 10 or 11, I read a book called My Side of the Mountain, and if you haven't read it, it's pretty much about a boy who goes off to live on his deceased grandfather's land. He goes to live off the land, and in the middle of the book he finds a nest of peregrine chicks, and he takes one of those chicks and raises it to, you know, go after ducks and birds and stuff. And that kind of got me thinking, like, is this something you can do? Can you do this? So I kind of, after I read that book, I did a little more research online and found, like, oh, okay, I guess this is something you can actually do. And I kind of just went on from there. What did you have to do to get a license? To get a license in Washington State, there are basically technically four things you have to do to become a falconer. One, you have to pass the written test. This test is pretty much about your knowledge of falconry. The second is you have to find a sponsor, someone to train you. And third is you have to build some sort of housing for the bird, or it's called a muse. And fourth, so falconry is a hunting sport, and so to legally possess a raptor, you have to go out hunting with it. So if you don't already have your hunting license, you have to go take that test and then get that license in order to get a falconry license. Man, it's a lot of work, but I did it. I done did it. How long have I been doing falconry? I've been involved in the falconry community for about 5 years, just watching and learning from other falconers. And then I've been licensed for a little over 3 years. Yeah. How do you train your bird? So raptors, especially red tails, they are opportunistic hunters, which pretty much means they go after the easiest food source possible. So the whole relationship between a falconer and a bird is based off of opportunity. After you capture a bird, and once it figures out that you're basically a source of food, once they figured out that, then you start making them work for the food. So, you know, just something like they'll dip their head down to get a tidbit, and then a couple days later you'll have them stepping up on the glove, and then a couple days later you'll have them jumping to the glove. And once they figure out your food source, you make the distance longer and longer that they have to come to you to get that food, until they are flying, you know, 50, 100 feet, and then eventually free flying. How long do hawks live? So this isn't a question I get asked a whole bunch, but I think it's pretty interesting. The lifespan of a raptor does vary from bird to bird, but a red tail can live for over 20 years in captivity. But in the wild, the average is less than a year. If they make it through their first year and through the molt, they have a very good chance of surviving for years to come. Where does the bird live? Well, let me show you. So the house for a falconry bird is called a mews, and this is the design we went for Gracie's mew. So she's got a little perch up there. That's where she likes to sleep, and she likes to sleep facing the wall. Don't know why. But then she also has this shelf perch where she likes to hang out, and then she has a window perch. And there are a lot of vertical bars on this half of the mew, and this allows for a lot of natural elements to get in, sun, wind, rain, so that it makes it as natural as possible for the bird. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap up the video. Those were some of the questions I get asked as a falconer, and I thought they might be very interesting to share with you. If you have any additional questions, leave them down in the comments, because I don't get many comments and I love to respond to them. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will most likely answer you, because I have nothing to do in the day. I just check my channel over and over, refresh, leave a comment.